On this episode, we're going to talk about the dangers of debt. Hey guys, my name is Josh Redman and welcome to another episode of Property Investing Plus. Now, if you haven't already, guys, I really want to encourage you on this particular episode to connect with me on Facebook. I've just really started kind of upping the game on there. So these episodes will appear on both YouTube and Facebook. So if you're more friendly or, use Facebook more often, connect with me on there. It's facebook.com/Josh Redman PIP. I'll chuck that up now. And also, if you get a chance, make sure to go and have a look at the website. Still kind of fleshing a few things out there, but it kind of lists some of the services that I personally offer, and check it out, see if I can help you out. Let's get straight into the topic. Now, if you've talked about debt with any sort of property investor or been in the realms of property investing for a little while, you probably would have heard people say that there's like two types of debt, and the common phrase is good debt, bad debt, and the difference is serviceable, unserviceable. So basically they're saying that good debt is associated with debt basically where it's serviceable. So you've got a tenant in their house who's paying rent and the rent is enough to cover your interest repayments on that loan. Apparently that's good debt. All right, now bad debt obviously would be where you're losing money, it's taking money out of your own pocket and you're struggling to maintain repayments. So basically, the good old Steve McKnight puts it a great way where he talks about there's two types of debt, yes, but it's bad and worse debt. So he basically takes the approach that all debt is bad. And he also stresses how important it is to understand the numbers associated with each individual debt on each individual property. Now, I myself tend to lean towards Steve McKnight's thinking that, all debt is bad. So there'd be two types, there'd be bad and worse. So when it comes to funding an investment property, there's basically three options. There's 100% cash, 100% finance, 100% debt, or a nice even mix somewhere between cash and debt. When talking about that first option of 100% cash, it'd be near impossible to really strongly increase your portfolio if you're doing 100% cash. I see one of the major limitations is the fact that we don't have money trees in our backyards, which then lends to the fact that we may only be able to afford one or two investment properties over our lifetime. I mean, unless you have access to exorbitant amounts of money, you're really not going to be able to grow a large portfolio. 100% finance, 100% debt. I mean, even if you were able to make the numbers work in your favor, the truth is the banks would probably be the one to pump the brakes. They'd be the one to kind of pull you back from that, and basically they probably wouldn't lend to you. There's a few different things that banks consider when they're lending, and a lot of them is serviceability, so the ability to pay back the regular repayments. And if you're borrowing 100%, you're definitely going to end up paying mortgage insurance, which is another expense to you. And there's every chance that the bank will want you to put up some kind of loan collateral. And, if you're seeking out that 100% finance, that would mean that you would have to put something against that. So the last one, which is a nice mix of cash and debt. So that would mean that you would put up cash as a deposit and you'd borrow, 80% or something like that, or even less sometimes. But it's really important to note here that how much you lend or how much you borrow as an overall percentage of the purchase price should really reflect the state of the property market in that particular area. So as the market changes, so should your approach to debt. If the market is rising, then borrow more. But if the market is falling, reduce your debt. So basically in tune with your approach to debt, reflecting the current state of the market, there's three stages obviously. There's up, flat and down. So if prices are going up, I would probably say, as a rule of thumb, you could borrow up to 90% of the purchase price. If the market is flat, I'd probably pump down a little bit to about 80% of the purchase price is how much you lend. And obviously with the prices going down, I wouldn't go anywhere over 70% of the overall purchase price being borrowed. So one thing to really understand, because what a lot of people tend to do in their strategy and in their thinking is disassociate their responsibility for paying the debt, especially when it comes to renting out a property and your tenant's paying you enough to cover your interest repayments on the loan itself. You know, you really need to understand that as far as the bank is concerned, you are the one who's responsible for the repayments of that debt. No one else, not the tenant or anything like that. There's no way that you could sue the tenant for you not making your interest rate repayments. And it's really important that you get where the responsibility lies right in your head before you start. You know, and the truth of the matter is that your ability to survive and flourish in down times, especially in the property market, it will rest with your ability to control and manage your own debt. You have to remember it's your responsibility to repay the money that you've borrowed. If you plan to get into debt to buy an investment property, plan to get out of debt also. Sometimes paying down the debt is the best investment option. So sometimes putting that positive cash flow from that property back into paying down the mortgage associated with that property is sometimes the best approach. Sometimes it also helps to calculate for your own personal peace of mind what a 1% increase on interest rates would do to your overall portfolio. You know, what would be the impact of a 1% interest rate rise? Alright guys, that's it for another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly have a lot of fun making these, but there's just a few important takeaway points that I want to make sure you remember from today's episode. It's important to remember that if you have a plan to get into debt, have a plan to get out also. Your level of debt should always reflect the current state of the property market in that particular area. Make sure you pay attention. And also make sure to calculate the impacts of interest rate rises on your overall portfolio. So sit down and work out what a 1% interest rate rise would do to your portfolio. What would be the impacts of that 1%? And then if you want to go further, go for it. See what a 2% rise will do. And remember ultimately guys, that responsibility for the money that you have borrowed lies with you. It's up to you to repay it. So guys, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The new video every week. But if you've got a question for the show that you want to get on the show, just use the hashtag PropertyInvestingPlus on Instagram or Twitter. Alright guys, question of the day. Now I want to know, do you, as a part of your investment strategy, pay down your debt? Is that a part of what you do or not? Let me know. Thanks for stopping by guys, and I will talk to you again soon. See ya.